What is up, everybody? It is Wick here. I am out hitting some garage sales, estate sales, and even a rummage sale, trying to find things I can buy and sell, make some money on eBay. Here we are at a garage sale. Got some purses, but this sale just opened, and the guy's pulling back a tarp that was covering some shoes. So I want to take a look at these before I get out of here. And I see a pair over here that's got my attention, these New Balance kind of rugged hiking shoes. I've sold this style before and it always has sold well for me. So at $5 and in this good a condition, I picked those up and I flipped them very quickly. I sold them for $40, maybe $50. I can't remember at this point, but they sold quick. Here we are at another sale, all kinds of goodies. I believe this one just opened as well. And I see another pair of shoes over here that's interesting. Not those Skechers, they're nothing special, but here's some Nike Air shoes and kind of a unique design I don't see very often. They're only a couple bucks, so pretty good condition. Have to pick those up, didn't even bother to look them up. They're about a $30 pair of shoes. Inside of here, there's just a generic portable CD player. Of course, some of the Sony ones can be really good money. There's a walker. Even some of those walkers can sell well, especially if they're the carbon fiber walkers. I could sell for hundreds, really. And I'm asking her about video games, and she's showing me some PC games. Typically how it goes when I ask about games, they've either sold their PC games or they show me board games or something, right? But always like to ask since I collect those, and they're some of my most favorite things to find. Here's a Sony Walkman here, and this is a pretty good Walkman. I think this was like a $30 or $40 Walkman. Good style. Cassettes are becoming more popular. At least they were. I don't know if that's fallen off any, so people want the Walkmans. And some of the Walkmans can sell for hundreds of dollars if you get the right one. There's also a HP calculator vintage there I picked up in the box. It's not a great calculator. Some baseball stuff here, but I didn't find anything that was, really worth picking up. Stopped at this church sale, and I see this sealed Mastermind game. Just going to grab that. It's something I can sell on Amazon. Got some dolls, some other toys, some coolers. Here's some more baseball gloves. And here's one that looks pretty decent. It is, what is that, $7 or $8, maybe $9? And I'm like, that's a little high for this one, so I look it up and I end up putting it back. Just was not a good model. Usually I find these gloves for like $1 at sales like this. I just pick them up blind. And if it's a generic kind of off-brand one, I still sell it for a decent enough profit. Here's a one-piece chopper plush. And decided to pick this up. It's new with tags for $2. I just kind of liked it. I thought it could be valuable. Just moving along because there's lots of sales to go to. Like this estate sale, which found some pretty decent stuff here, but this is an estate sale done by an estate sale company, so the prices are generally much higher, so you don't find as much good stuff, or at least stuff that you can, sell and make a profit. But in this case, I did find a few things, had to leave some pretty good blow molds and stuff that were priced too high, but it is what it is. Went to an estate sale this morning, and actually it was run by the family. They didn't even have prices on stuff. It was just kind of like, hey, ask if you want to buy something. And those are my favorite kinds because people just want to get rid of the stuff, right? It's not an estate sale company trying to make as much profit as possible. Out in the garage, like I said, there's stuff out here that's pretty decent. There's some okay toys. Here's a glove. I don't remember what this was priced or if it was a good one, but some of these toys were just too expensive, like the Micro Machine bus up there, and they don't have that much value on eBay, so just end up leaving stuff like that, unfortunately. This garage sale, all kinds of knickknacks. There's one of those, what is it, the food processor, meat grinder thing. Sometimes I pick those up, depends on the model, the age, and everything. But here's a glove, and here's an example of me finding one for $1. Even though it's got some wear, I just end up buying it. I don't think it's a great one because the model number was rubbed off. I couldn't even really properly research it. But some of those Rawlings catcher's mitts like that, Can be very good money. I've sold them upwards to $200 before, and it can be hard to tell which ones are valuable without just, looking them up, doing some research. Because to me, I can kind of feel the quality in a good one, but a lot of times they just kind of feel like just any other glove to me. Now this is amazing. Inside of my bag there, I doubt you could see it. I just turned on the glasses because I found this. This is some sort of charity, like sale for like raising money for animals, a vet or something. But got one of the best finds of the year in there. We're gonna make like $700 on it. I'll talk about it more in the haul. Now I'm throwing all these dolls in there because I thought I saw Monster High dolls in there, and I'm just trying to go through. I ended up putting them all back because there was not even one Monster High doll in there. So I don't know what my brain was thinking there. I guess I was just kind of intoxicated from the what I found there in the bag, and I'm just like, well, let me just grab these. This is going to be good. Some more gloves there that weren't great, but I ended up buying a lot of stuff at this sale. So I just kept finding stuff and piling up, and people were donating stuff as I was there to this sale. So all kinds of new items kept popping up. Here's some vintage plush that I'm buying. I'm buying these not necessarily for resale. They're cheap, and I know somebody that likes these. I can pass them to them if they're not worth selling on eBay. So I pick them up cheap like that. I like to buy them. I like the vintage stuff anyway. A couple of them are probably worth selling on eBay, though, in there. There's a little train set there, and I don't see it at first, but I do end up buying it. It's a good one. Can't see everything your first time walking through. That's why I like to walk around, move stuff around. First just kind of walk around, see what you can find, and then go through more thoroughly afterwards. Also like to open stuff. When I first got in here, I also got a bunch of vintage hats, which my glasses weren't on at the time to record. So I'll just be showing all those in the haul. Just like always, everything you don't see in the videos, me picking up. There's a bunch of cassettes over here, and I can't remember how thoroughly I went through these. I was just kind of looking because, if it's full of like Metallica and, good punk bands and stuff like that, I want to buy all of those immediately. But I'm not seeing anything like that for the genre of music. Mostly just worthless from what I could tell. Doesn't mean there can't be a good one in there just because it's not, what I'm thinking is valuable. Here's 8 tracks, and I see one sealed here. I think it was, Bette Midler. And I love picking up these because I love picking them up when they're sealed because you never know how much value they can have. It goes up when they're sealed. And there's some 8 tracks. I sold a Kiss Animalize for like $200. So some of them can be valuable. Here is a, what was it? Eel skin wallet I picked up. And I already sold that. It sold very quickly as well for good profit. I got the train there. I got another hat I ended up picking up. Decide to look up that head racket just in case it's a decent one. It ends up not being worth trying to sell on eBay. Some more stuff a helper just put out on the table. I'm checking out to make sure it's nothing great. Little mouse game. Nothing particularly great, but ended up finding some great things today. Going to make some lots of money. Let's jump into the haul. I'll show you. Got a massive haul to show you. Let's jump into it. Try to breeze through this quickly. Got a hat over here hanging on the chair. This is a Acubra hat. I believe these are Australian made, vintage. Some of these hats can sell up to $200 for this brand. I think this one I'm going to price about $75. Got some good toys today. Paid up for some of these. Paid $100 for all these micro machines. There's quite a bit of stuff here. You got a bunch in here. Bunch of military and planes in a bag. Some more in here. The case is full of them here. Now, some of these can be worth quite a bit of money, but on average, probably around like $3 to $5 per car. I did a little bit of research on these already, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to make at least $100 on it. So paying $100, doubling my money. I'm going to try to get like $150 to $200. It's possible there's even a rare one in there that could be worth, $100 by itself. Then I got these 80s Starcom toys, and I paid $200 for all these. And I'm going to make at least $200 profit on it, but I think there's a lot more if I sell this stuff right. There's 40 figures in here alone, and some of the figures are selling, averaging about $10 a piece. So it's possible I could double my money on the figures. There's even some decals that haven't even been used, but I'm assuming it was someone trying to make complete sets, because pretty much there's a double of everything in here. I went through it and it looks like, one of them's complete and then one was just bought and used for parts or whatever was going on there. These things alone were selling for over $100. Actually, I think both of these might be close to complete. There's more pieces in here. Two of the bases, which don't sell for much. I think this was selling for like $60 or something. And there's some smaller pieces in here that were selling for, I think it was these, and not this one, because this is one that wasn't complete, but there's 3 of them in there, and they were selling for like $30 a piece, so there's $90. I mean, I think I can estimate at least $250 profit on these, maybe more once I get in and start selling it. So that's why I paid up for these, plus they're super fun to list and play with. So I ended up going to a rummage sale, and I spent, I think it was $75 for everything. So a lot of this stuff is not individually priced, but here's a Calphalon pressure cooker. I could sell this for about $75. That was one of the things I got at the rummage sale. A couple nice pairs of shoes picked up at a garage sale. These New Balance shoes, hiking shoes, in really good condition for $5. I should be able to sell those for $50, no problem. Pretty sure I've sold that style before even. And then for $2, I picked up these Nike Air shoes. Pretty good condition for only paying $2. Should be to sell those for $30. So good profit in those 2 pairs of shoes. I paid $1 for this glove. Unfortunately, the model number has worn off of it. Doing Google Lens, I saw one sell for $60 where it was listed for $60. It looked identical. I'm just going to throw it on there for like $20. I only paid $1 for it and don't know exactly what it is. Definitely make some money on it. I got a bunch of smalls here that came from the rummage sale as well. I like this sealed Lego set here of these flowers. It only sells for like $15, so nothing super special there. This actually came from an estate sale I stopped at for $1. This sells for about $25. It's a ceiling fan remote. Got this reel, it sells for about $25 as well. Don't have much money into any of this stuff, right? Bette Midler sealed 8-track. I always pick up this stuff sealed. Unfortunately, the Bette Midler here is not, worth a whole lot. This is pretty good. This is an 8-track cleaning cassette, I believe. Looked this up and it was selling for about $20-25. 2 Xbox controllers here, which average also $20 to $25. And they got 2 of these handheld Yahtzee games, and I sell these on Amazon. I usually sell them for $45-50 on there. They'll still sell very quickly on eBay in good working condition for around $25. Might even be able to get 30 free shipping on them. I know one works because the batteries are still working, but still great profit on those, right? So if I'm to add up these, just smaller profit pickups, it's going to add up to some good profit. So here is a eel skin wallet, Lee Sands. It's new, I guess. It looks new. Some of these were selling for upwards of $50. Should have no problem selling it, between $25 and $50. Again, this is an item that came from the rummage sale. Got these at the estate sale. Now, I just made a video talking about the Sears wish books and how the ones from the 60s sell for a couple $100. This is the one from 92. It was $1. I also got a couple of the spring catalogs for $1 because why not? I wasn't 100% sure if they were worth anything. But people like to have these around Christmas. Coffee table books, they like to go through them. The one from the 90s, I think I can sell this for about $25. Again, I'm still looking for the one from the 60s that's worth like a couple $100. Here's one of the items I got at the rummage sale. It is a Highballer Bachmann train set. It looked like this was selling between $40 and $60. I saw some pre-owned comps for it. Looks to be all there in good condition. So should make some great profit on that as well. Back up here, we got this Rhino 2 Nylon truck. I've talked about Nylon on the channel before. Some of these Nylon items can go upwards to $200-300, and I've sold a few for pretty good profit. I sold a blue one almost identical to this. I guess it was the Rhino 1. And I remember it being rusted and in bad shape, and still got like $40-60 for it. Unfortunately, this one's not worth much at all. It's not selling great. I was surprised. This is in insanely good condition for being an early 80s toy. The stickers, the decals, everything's all on there. I'm still going to price it $30 plus shipping. For paying $1 for it is all I paid. It's going to be some profit for sure. It's just probably going to sit for a while, but maybe somebody wanting it in better condition. Mine will sell quicker because these things are usually beat up when you find them. Just a couple more things I got at the rummage sale for next to nothing. Got this king cutter saw. You know, there's some listed for like $30, but it don't look like they're selling it that well. And then I got this lantern. This was a number 40. Some of these are very rare and collectible. This one, not so much, and it's in really bad shape. Probably something, you know, when I finally sell at a flea market, I'll just throw it out there. Not going to try selling it on eBay. I just grabbed it since I probably got $1 or less into it, just to look up and make sure it wasn't worth something when I got home. Sealed Mastermind game. I'll make $15 selling that on Amazon. Got that at a church rummage sale. Ended up driving up on right when it was starting. Very lucky. Too bad they didn't have better stuff there. Here's something that I'm always excited to see, some of these HP calculators, because I can never remember what model is worth hundreds of dollars. It's one that looks identical to this. So for $1 with the book and the box, just buying it, get home, look it up, you know, I'll probably sell it for 30 bucks. The book is actually pretty valuable, more valuable than the calculator. So should have no problem selling this one for $30. Same garage sale, I picked up this Sony Walkman. This is a pretty good one. I saw some selling around $40, $50 pre-owned. So hopefully it works. Still a little bit of money for the parts, but working will be a really good profit. I picked up this right when I walked into an estate sale for $3. This is Canon SureShot Telemax. Good camera, easily a $100 camera, maybe even $120. It's got the book, it's in great condition in there. Doesn't look like it's been used. So you can't beat that for $3, right? This is an old early 1900s, I believe, jack. I already forget, the Buckeye Manufacturing Company, I think, is who made this one. Some of these made, I forget the name, it starts with an S. In better condition, can sell all the way up to $400. I've seen comps for. No, this one's not bad. I think I sell it like $40, $50 possibly. Not something I've ever bought before. Again, it's just one of those things where I was grabbing stuff cheap, get it home, and, you know, check it out. But I don't think this particular number, whatever it was on eBay, so I'll probably try 50 on that. This is going to be one of the best finds of the year. A bunch of vintage wrestling figures in great condition. Now, a lot of these are rare and pretty high dollar, like this Razor Ramon here. When I first picked them up, I knew they were good, but I didn't know they were going to be as good as they are. This one here should sell for close to $200. I saw some comps around 175, I think maybe even over 200. Now, that's because it has the necklace. And it's funny because when I first got these home, I started looking them up, I saw Razor Ramon. I'm like, oh, he doesn't have the necklace. That's unfortunate. Later in the evening, I was walking by the couch and my foot drug something out from underneath. I thought it was just a piece of twine, and I just picked it up to throw it away. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Razor Ramon's necklace. So it was actually in here, and there's only 2 other accessories in here, which I can sell for $50, by the way, but pretty lucky to have that happen. We got like the Undertaker here, which seems like that was selling for like $40 or $50. I can't remember the comps. There's a Shawn Michaels that was selling for close to $200. However, I have a different variation that still sells for like $40, $50. There's some $60 figures in here as well. And then there's a few that just sell for $15, but I looked up every one of them, and I should be able to sell these for at least $700. I'm going to sell them individually. The ones that sell for like maybe $10, $15, I'll just lot together, but really good find on the wrestling figures. And another thing that matters with these is the fact that they are in such good condition. Condition matters on this stuff, and accessories. If all these had their accessories, we would be really in good shape. I also picked up a bunch of hats. Nothing super great. We've got this 80s Denver Nuggets hat. I think can sell for around $40, possibly $50. It's just dusty. I think it'll clean up. We got some other, like a Logo 7. Here's an Atlanta Braves hat. Again, all these hats probably ended up being less than $1 in the end. I think that Atlanta Braves hat's at least a $20, $25 hat. We got this like Tom T. Hall hat. And the Storytellers, it's autographed. I saw one of these sell in the last 3 years, autographed for $65. Some others around $30. So I'm going to price this probably like $40, $50 to start, see if anyone's interested in it. And we got a bunch of these old, trucker hats that have the old, funny sayings on them, like take this job and shove it. These do pretty well, depending on what it says, usually $20 to $40. So I don't know exactly. Sawyer Brown, I think, is a musician from the 80s. That one wasn't too great. Another funny hat from the 80s, another funny hat, a Ford hat. I guess this one's a funny hat. This one was probably actually pretty good. I forgot I picked up this one. I'd rather push a Ford than drive a Chevrolet. Here's a Mel McDaniel USA hat, which I think was also a musician. And I got this, I think it's an Arkansas Razorbacks plush hat. I don't think was worth too much, but still, I'll add these up and put it on the screen how much I expect to make on these hats. Definitely not bad. So down here on the floor, I got some stuff as well. I got this vintage Prince bag from the late 80s, early 90s. Got that at the rummage sale as well. I figured to pick it up, right? I saw some comps for these selling between $30 and $60. Also, this North Face bag, some of these are really good. This one was made for some sort of company there, I believe, but still these things will sell. This one it looks like I can sell for $20, $25. It's in pretty much new condition. I got a bunch of plush, again, for next to nothing. I have somebody that likes vintage plush, so I can always, get my money back, passing them on to them. I think this Teddy Ruxpin might sell for $20, $25. It's hard to research this because it kept showing me the real Teddy Ruxpin that has the cassettes and everything. But I did see one of these sell for $25. So maybe this one's a little bit more rare. This is cool. It just doesn't have much value. It's a Trolls stocking. Again, it's worth like $15. A gizmo I didn't even look up. I don't know if that has any value. But like I've said, I'm a sucker for the vintage stuff. You got a My Buddy here and a Care Bear. Nothing worth a whole lot, maybe not even worth selling on eBay. I picked up this at the church rummage sale. That's a chopper from the anime One Piece. Sometimes One Piece items or anime items in general can be worth hundreds. So at $2, it's new with tags. Turns out it's from Round One, which is an arcade, so it's not worth a whole lot either. But again, I'm not necessarily picking up this stuff to sell directly on eBay. I got quite a few totes of just old vintage plush that I'm going to pass on to some people interested in them. Oh, I don't want to forget about this. This is always forget the name of these things. Vintage Rabbit Tanaka is the name that makes them. From the 90s, it said 94 on this one. I can probably sell it $40, $60. It depends on which one, as long as it works and everything. So I got that at the rummage sale as well. VHS Rewinder, I paid $3 for, there's some profit there. I like to sell those on Amazon. Then for $5, I also got this mailbox. It's brand new. Probably sell that on Amazon, make $15, $20. So those two items is profit as well. Paid $10 for all these shake and go cars. I think there's 4 or 5 cars in there. Now, some of the Disney Cars versions of these can sell very well. I did see where this whole set complete sold for $75, so for paying $10, it's pretty good. Also, I saw where 4 cars sold for $49.99. So I don't know how exactly I'm going to sell this yet, but there's certainly profit in it. Then finally, at that estate sale I stopped at, for $20, I got this Atlantic Mold Nativity set. And I believe this is the full 16 pieces. It might even be more. But I paid $20 for all of it. I don't know if I'm going to sell it as a set or try to part it out. I don't think it's a good enough set to part out. Maybe it might take too long. We'll see how I sell it. There it is, everybody. That is my haul for today, going to garage sales, rummage sales. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button for me and make sure you're subscribed. I really appreciate the time you take to do that. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Till next time, got a lot of work here to do.